Gabby. I'm going to read another book that I got for you, and this is your first Bible. The first story in this book is called The Story of Creation. God made the earth and the sun. He made the moon and the stars. God made all the plants and animals that live on the earth. He made man and woman. God looked at all that he had done, and it was very good. The next story is called The Story of Noah. This is in the Bible too. Noah was a good man. God told Noah to build a big boat. God told Noah to get 2 of every kind of animal on the earth. The boat was big enough to hold them all. A storm came. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights. The earth was flooded with water. When the storm stopped, Noah sent a dove to find the dry land. The boat landed on top of a mountain. The water was gone. A rainbow appeared in the sky. It was a sign from God. Noah's family and the animals left the boat. God had saved them from the flood. The next story is the story of Moses. A woman had a baby boy. The baby was in great danger. His mother had to save him. She put him in a basket and took him to the river. The king's daughter found the basket. The young princess cared for the baby as her very own. She named him Moses. Moses grew up to be a strong man. He became a shepherd. Then God spoke to Moses one day, and he told Moses to save his people. They were slaves to a cruel king. God's people ran away from the king. Moses led them across the desert. They came to the sea. God made the sea open up so that the people could cross through on the dry land. God's people were free. They thanked Moses, their great leader. The next story is David and Goliath. And your daddy was named David after the David that was in the Bible. Goliath was a giant man. He came to fight God's people. The soldiers did not want to fight Goliath. He was too big and strong. But a boy named David was not afraid. God had blessed David and made him to be brave. David stood before the giant Goliath. He said, "I have come to fight you in the name of God." He threw a stone at Goliath, and the stone hit the giant right in the middle of the forehead. He would never bother the people again. David was a hero. The next story in the Bible is called Daniel and the Lions. Once there was a man named Daniel. Daniel had faith in God. The king liked Daniel and gave him an important job. But other men were jealous of Daniel. The jealous men wanted to get rid of Daniel, so they made him go into a pit with hungry lions in there. Daniel was in the pit all night long. But you know what he did? He prayed to God. The next day, Daniel came out of the pit. The lions hadn't eaten him. His faith in God had saved him. The next story is about Jesus. We talked about Jesus at Easter time. Mary lived in the town of Nazareth. God sent an angel to her. The angel had wonderful news for Mary. She would be the mother of God's own Son. It was time for the baby to be born. Mary and her husband Joseph had to travel to the town of Bethlehem. There was no room for Mary and Joseph at the inn. They had to stay in the stable. The baby was born there. His name was Jesus. When he was born, a bright star shone up in the sky. The next story is about the shepherds and the wise men that came. That night, angels came to some shepherds in the field. They told the shepherds about the baby who was Christ the Lord. The shepherds came to Jesus and to worship him. Some kings from the east saw the star. They followed it to Bethlehem. They bowed to the baby Jesus. They gave him gifts. The next one is called Jesus Does God's Work. God had sent Jesus to earth to do good for all people. When Jesus grew up, he told everyone about the power and goodness of God. He told them that God loved them. One day, a woman followed Jesus. She was very sick. She touched Jesus' coat. And Jesus turned around and he blessed the woman. All at once, she felt better. She wasn't sick anymore. A man who was blind and couldn't see came to Jesus. Jesus touched his eyes with some mud. Now the man could see. The sick woman and the blind man were healed because of their faith in Jesus. The last story is called Jesus and the Little Children. One day the people brought their little children to see Jesus. Some men tried to send the children away. But Jesus loved everyone, big and small. He told the children to come to him. Jesus blessed the children. He will always be our friend. Jesus loves you, Gabi. And so do Grandma and Papa. Bye.